Okay, Coach is going to start with an opening statement before moving on to questions.
Another opportunity to move toward opportunity to take care of home court. We're excited about playing in front of our crowd in the city of Como, but also as it relates to being prepared to get a little bit healthy. Ant Robinson is available, as you guys could see. He was away for one game. So we're excited about where we are.
Questions?
What have you noticed about South Carolina that's made them have a pretty good season thus far, record-wise?
Yeah, they're doing a great job. What they're doing is shooting the ball a little bit better than they did last season. Has some key additions, with a Vandy transfer and Stute. He's playing great. Mac is playing great, but their best player is Michi Johnson. He had a great game here last season, and he's doing a tremendous job for his team as he leads them in scoring, as well as other categories.
When you look at the tape from the last game, what jumped out to you the most, maybe especially in those last few minutes? I think it was, 1 for 15 from the field there. What jumped out to you about that last stretch there?
Well, the last stretch, we didn't have Sean East for about 6 minutes. I thought he took a blow above his head on a drive. They said it was a basketball that hit him, but a basketball can't leave a mark that was left, and his left eye was swollen from it, and ultimately I thought it was a situation that should have put us to the line for unintentional flagrant, possibly. So just being back in rhythm, Nick Honor had to play 19 minutes without a sub because of that, and we didn't have Ant Robinson, so our rotation was a little stagnant. We did get to the free throw line, but we wasn't able to execute on a field goal during that moment.
As far as Tamar goes, how have you seen maybe his confidence grown and maybe the last 5-6 games you look at?
Tamar Bases doing well, doing tremendous. I think psychologically he's in a safe environment. His teammates love him. He's responding to coaching. But he's a young man that wants to even play better. You look at his minutes, he's only playing 20 minutes a game. But you look at those stats in those 20 minutes, he's given us 10 points, which is double digits, which is tremendous. We want that to obviously continue. But the shooting percentage, he's shooting 50% from the three, 90% from the free throw line when he gets there. But also he's shooting 52% from the field. So those are tremendous numbers for a young man who's in his first year in the program after transferring. So mentally he's in a safe space, and I think he's doing well.
Coach, on Nick Honor, he's been 25% or below from the field in each of the last 4 games. Just what have you seen from him in some of the shot selection and as he's kind of working through this slump?
Well, if we look at his career, and this is the anomaly of it, and this is how fragile a team is when you're disrupted by injury, Nick Honor is actually, compared to his career numbers, playing well. We want him to be Superman. And sometimes we got to put realistic expectations on young men. He's averaging 10 points a game. There's only one other time he's averaged double digits. That was his freshman year in college at Fordham. So actually he is playing well. We just need him to be Superman. And sometimes realistic expectations and goals must be set for these young men. He's shooting a good percentage from the three at 39%. That's a good percentage. Now what has to happen is we understand those minutes went up, so we may have to take some minutes back and distribute them somewhere else. But he's playing good basketball. He really is. We want his assist-to-turnover ratio to be in a positive. It is. Last year at this time, it was 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and he was one of the top players in the country in that category. So we want him to make his free throws. We want him to be able to make more shots, but he's making some good plays, and we're getting from Nick Honor what his career has said that he can give and even more. So I'm excited with his best basketball moving forward. I love his leadership and what he's doing and how he's responding to the minimal adversity he's going through.
Coach, during the Kentucky game, at the first under-16 timeout, y'all were only trailing, I think, 14-12. Y'all were kind of in an offensive flow, and you brought in a couple of subs. Tell me kind of what the process was there. Why did you decide to change up the lineup in that moment?
So you have to change up the lineup because you got to look big picture, but also you have to look at the environment at which the team is playing. Yes, we're playing with rhythm, but ultimately you have to make the decisions in games, especially when guys are at their maximum oxygen level. Some guys were fatigued. We have a tendency of not showing that, and that's the disposition of our team. I don't want our guys to show the body language of fatigue. So you're not going to see it, and you're going to see subtle substitutions based off the request of the players. And that's what happened during that moment.
Coach, the last 2 games combined, I believe you guys have 13 bench points. Is that something that's kind of concerning or not as much, especially if you're able to score like 77 in Kentucky?
Well, what it says is that we have to distribute our points in a better way. We need guys to play better. You look at Kurt Lewis. He wants those 3 jump shots back so bad, and they were wide open, right? And he's a better shooter. He's been showing that in practice that he's a better shooter. You look at, Jesus. He's been playing well for us, and he had done a great job coming off the bench. And we even gave John Tonje opportunity to go out there and play. And during the game, this is what you have to understand, plus minus. When Mabor and John Tonje went in the game, they instantly made an impact. They were plus 14 and plus 8 in that first half in the plus minus category. That is a big difference. There was only 3 players on our roster in the plus minus, or in the plus, and that was Mabor, it was John Tonje, and Jackson Reed-Francois. That's it, those 3 guys. And ultimately, they have to do a better job of getting certain things done, and when opportunities come, that's where I think the points in the, off the bench will be essential to us.
Coach, can you tell us a little bit more about Mabor getting into the game? You know, he usually doesn't get on the court for that long. What are kind of the expectations when he gets in?
Well, he's been playing well. He's one of our most physical defenders, and I believe, for him, last season he won some games for us here at Mississippi State against one of the best post players in the conference, Tolu Smith, and again against one of the most physical low post teams in our conference at Tennessee. And he played well in both. He escorted us to a victory with his minutes. I just want to continue to see him impact the game, and that's what he was able to do.
The decision to kind of keep Trent and Jordan out of the game, what went into that? Executive
decision. That's what it was, just an executive decision. Nothing in between it. It was just a decision in the field.
One last question. Coach, on Caleb Grill, have you gotten a sense of just how his recovery is going and any sort of timeline on when he might be able to come back?
Well, Caleb Grill has never stopped being active, first of all. He's been running, he's been engaged, he's been doing things. It's just he had surgery in an area that did not distribute enough blood for healing on its own. And we had to make that decision. Obviously, with that sweat comes an opportunity where you cut that cast off and you try to get re-imaging. So we're in a phase where we've gotten re-imagery, and he's on course to where he needs to be, which is a positive. At the end of the day, he's moved from I believe a full cast to a half cast, and still a range of motions. You still have to continue to do certain things, but mentally he's impacting our team every day, and he's going to continue to work, and we'll make the decision when that time comes.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, MIZ.